Back in the original Grand Bazaar, the romance system was very simple. Quick heart events, limited dialogue, and characters with personalities that, well, didn't really get the chance to fully shine. With the remake, everything points to these characters keeping their core essence, but with richer stories, deeper relationships, and more moments that make them actually feel alive. So, I built the ultimate guide to who these bachelors and bachelorettes really were in the original and what kind of energy they will be bringing to Zephyr Town this time around. So, grab a snack because it's time to spill the tea, without major spoilers, of course, on every single potential spouse in story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. First up, the cover girl herself, Sophie, whose name was Sherry in the original. She's the mayor's daughter and the human equivalent of a cozy cup of tea on a rainy day. She's bright, cheerful, and basically the emotional support beam holding Zephyr Town together. Personality-wise, she's the definition of wholesome girls, cause this girl is always upbeat and always helping others, and she's very committed to it. She's dedicated to helping the town, and if you're the type of person who likes an altruistic queen with a heart of gold, Sophie's your girl for sure. Now, on the surface, Sophie is Miss Perfect. Kind, polite, and really just pure golden retriever energy. But peel back the layers in her heart events and whew, yeah, still Miss Perfect, but there's depth in her. Her life hasn't been tragic, but she did grow up fast. She's fiercely responsible and very mature for her age. But if you think winning her heart is your biggest challenge, oh honey, no. The real final boss? Felix, the man himself. This man has serious only daughter syndrome, and you might be his bro who's reviving the bazaar, but he will absolutely incinerate you if you start having ideas. So propose to Sophie and watch him appear in the background with a shovel like, interesting, so you have chosen death. Dating Sophie feels like coming home after a long day, warm, safe, and full of love. Just be ready to earn that love and maybe invest in some good armor for when Felix finds out. But okay, would she water your crops or your soul? Actually, both, and she will probably help around the entire bazaar while she's at it. Okay, next up is June, the city queen who said don't talk to me, and then talked to you anyway, whose name was Antoinette in the original. June. The moment she walks in, you just know she's the type to judge your overalls and think, that's a choice. And she's not wrong, actually. She got here from the city, she's got the vibe of someone who has read Vogue cover to cover since birth, and now she's in Zephyr Town like, this? Roro. Couldn't be me. Spoiler alert, it is her. Her personality, well, in the trailer she seems to be much softer than she was in the original, but in the original, yeah, think soft goth meets big city sarcasm. On the outside, she's cold, distant, and a little snobby, like she's allergic to small town friendliness. Like she would rather sit by the river alone than deal with your peasant energy. But plot twist, under all that leave me alone energy, June is an introvert with a soft center. She cares deeply once she trusts you, and getting there just takes time, okay? But it's worth the wait. You know that cat that hisses the first time you try to pet it, then follows you everywhere 5 minutes later? Yeah, that's June. Yeah. But at first, she literally climbs hills to avoid people because, yeah, who wouldn't? Slowly, you find out why she's like this. She's not really a nice queen. She's just a lonely queen trying to keep it together. From all the girls, I think she's the one who has more layers to her personality. And it's really nice to get to know her. I love her. And when you break through that wall, oh my gosh, she gets real. She struggles real hard with balancing her own dreams while figuring out where she actually belongs. But one thing I love about her is that she has this dry, cutting humor that will destroy you in the best way, and suddenly she's blushing, and it's such a slow burn romance feeling, you know, I love her. And let's not forget her dad, now named Eric in the remake, because he's such a polite king and he's so sweet and so calm. He's like the human version of a chamomile tea. He just wants June to be happy, meanwhile she's like, Dad, stop being nice, you're embarrassing me. Honestly, their dynamic is adorable. But would she water your crops or your soul? Yeah, she will water your soul while judging your watering technique the entire time. Okay, next up is my queen, and I'm not even ashamed to admit it, because yeah, this girl is a girl boss. Freya, the career queen who's already probably outearning you and looks good doing it. Freya walks in and you just know she will own your heart. At first, she looks like that normal random choice, like basic choice, but if you look for 2 seconds at her piercing eyes, you're hers. There's no going back. This woman here, she radiates LinkedIn energy in a world full of scarecrows. She's classy, she's focused, but she's very, very humble. She gives you a warm smile even if you're standing there covered in chicken feed like a fool. Her personality, imagine if ambition, elegance, and humbleness had a baby and then gave it a perfect haircut. Freya is all about balance, actually. She's a city girl who really enjoys the simple stuff. She's independent, she's confident, and she actually likes her career, which is new. And this is not a side quest for her, this is the main storyline. She takes her job in the city very seriously and she's proud of it. And she's the type who goes to the cafe not just for coffee, but for that serene moment of self-care after conquering deadlines and meeting her friends. She starts the game already as a big tender girl, but once you earn her trust, oh my god, expect your heart to melt. Picture that classic anime scene, a quiet bridge moment, the wind blowing, and suddenly the woman who looks like she has her life perfectly together admits something real. That perfection you see, yeah, it's hiding someone who craves balance and the beauty in life. And maybe someone who wants a reason to see life through a new lens. And Freya isn't about being rescued, she doesn't need a hero, she wants an equal, a partner who respects and supports her grind, or just someone to be by her side and to give her new perspective. She's very ambitious, but she fears losing herself in that life cycle, which is very relatable, so dating her means proving you can be her safe place as much as she will be yours. Cause oh baby, expect to get yourself a strong, independent, supportive queen. She recognizes your hard work and she will be cheering on you through all your rags to riches journey. If you can handle her independence, since she spends all day out of town and only comes to town in the evenings, and show up with emotional support, yeah, you're golden. But would she water your crops or your soul? Baby, she will water your soul and file your taxes while she's at it. Yeah, practical romance, thriving energy, 11 out of 10 wife material. Okay, next up, Maple, the bubbly hotel maid who steals your heart one cookie at a time. Maple walks in like a sugar-coated tornado. Yeah, she's energetic, she's chaotic in the cutest way possible, and you immediately want to protect her. Partly because she's adorable, and partly because she will trip over her own mop if you blink. Her personality? Maple is the human embodiment of a warm hug with a sprinkle of glitter. She's bubbly, overzealous, endlessly optimistic, and a total klutz. But don't let the innocent energy fool you. No, she's also incredibly thoughtful, caring deeply about everyone she works with and the hotel she calls home. Maple treats Stuart and Sonia like grandparents, and she radiates pure joy while trying to keep their inn spotless while constantly trying to do her best. She's sweet, devoted, and has a soft heart under all that bubbly energy, which makes her impossible not to adore. Slowly, you start to see why she's so caring and devoted. She fell in love with the town, she loves working at the hotel, and genuinely wants to make everyone happy, even if it means constantly running herself ragged. She's the type to give half her cookie and expect nothing in return, but oh, the joy she brings when you accept it. And when you really pay attention, Maple gets real about her mistakes, and yet she focuses on the people around her first as a boost to get over her mistakes and do better. Be better, not for her, but for those around her. Her loyalty and warmth are really adorable. In the original, she had a big baby energy, which made it really weird to even consider marrying her, to be honest. But with her revamped look and probably more mature personality, I hope, it will be hard not to fall in love with her, okay? It will be hard. But would she water your crops or your soul? Yeah, she will water your soul and probably spill a little or a lot of water in the process and give you a cookie to make up for it. Okay, now let's talk about one of my personal favorites, Kagetsu, the mysterious shrine maiden who steals your breath and heart. The moment you hear about her, you know she's going to be a game changer. She's a mystical, reclusive shrine maiden that in the original, she was named Emiko, and she was a special candidate that only appeared in year 2 when the stars aligned and the waterfall opened the way. You could only marry her in the original when you had proven your worth by giving her 120 gifts, but now I'm thinking she will be way more accessible. I hope. I'm praying. Her personality? Think ethereal elegance meets shy but curious intellectual. On the outside, she's reserved, mystical, and a little intimidating, like a spirit you would catch glimpse of in the forest, unsure if it's a ghost or if it's a real person. But once you earn her trust, Kagetsu is gentle, thoughtful, and deeply compassionate. She knows very little about the outside world, but she's eager to learn, she observes everything with quiet fascination, and she cherishes the chance to see life beyond her shrine. Kagetsu is soft-spoken, reflective, and radiates a calm wisdom that makes your chaotic farm life feel balanced. She's cautious, mysterious, and slightly untouchable, but in the best way possible, like a secret you're thrilled to unravel. And one thing that is very cute about her is how she notices you as time goes by and as you get to know her. She doesn't just see you watering plants, no, she sees you nurturing life itself, and it melts her mystical little heart. But Kagetsu isn't just soft and angelic, no, she's mysterious, she's quietly intelligent, and deeply principled. You can't rush her or fake your way in. You earn her trust with patience, respect, and kindness. Her rare smiles and gentle gestures, yeah, priceless. But would she water your crops or your soul? Yeah, she will water both, maybe with a soft mystical rain, and leave you feeling like your life just got a little bit more magical. Okay, let's talk about our first brand new marriage candidate, Diana, the bazaar boss lady. We know nothing about her, but the moment she walked into the trailer, we knew she was all business, right? Clipboard, check. Laser focus, double check. Charm, well, that's to be discovered, but she seems to be serious, organized, and probably secretly terrified of small talk, in my opinion. You know that type that is like business only until it's not anymore. I don't know. Her personality so far, what we do know is that Diana is driven, dedicated, and laser focused on one thing, reviving the bazaar. She doesn't seem to be here to chit-chat, she's here to make sure the town thrives. Her dedication hints at a heart that genuinely cares about the town and its people, and she seems to be the type who notices effort, values responsibility, and might secretly respect a partner who can keep up with her pace. And her backstory and motivations are tied to the revitalization of the bazaar, so I think that when she decides to open up, it's going to be worth it, very worth it. I don't know, that subtle smiles, that I see you trying and I think I like it energy, I don't know. Yeah, I love my independent business girlies, so yeah, Freya and Diana, they might be like sisters in my heart. But would she water your crops or your soul? I think she would water both actually, but probably with the clipboard in hand, making sure you're following procedure. Efficiency is love after all. Okay, now let's go to my boys, starting with Jules, the sweetest tutor who will steal your heart while teaching you about life stuff. His name was Ivan in the original, and he was my baby boy, my favorite boy, my good boy, just perfect boy. The moment you see him by the windmill or on the bridge, you just know he's the type of guy who makes you feel like everything's going to be okay. He's polite, he's gentle, and endlessly considerate. The kind of man who makes you feel like the world isn't such a scary place, He's basically like sunshine in human form, and I love him. His personality? Well, Ivan is a pure, soft, caring energy wrapped in a responsible adult. He's nurturing, thoughtful, and endlessly considerate, whether it's tutoring city kids, helping his little brother Dirk, or just quietly observing the river and its fish. He's the kind of person who makes you feel seen and supported, and he has this natural balance between being responsible, since he's basically a parent to Dirk, and being approachable, making him one of the safest, kindest presences in the game. He's the rare character who blends gentle kindness with quiet strength. He's very protective but also self-aware, making sure he's guiding his brother without overstepping. He values connection, understanding, and doing right by those he loves. Your journey with him is one basically about adulthood and maturity, since pretty much like Sophie, he also had to grow really fast, which shaped his sense of responsibility by assuming certain roles from a young age. When you give him perspective, he takes it to heart, showing how much he trusts and respects your judgment, and how he's ready to make some changes and amends. This is how empathetic and reflective he is, probably the more emotionally mature candidate of the 12. But would he water your crops or your soul? Actually, both, and he would do it with kindness and understanding. Yeah, Jules isn't just a love interest, he's a grounding presence, a gentle partner, and a heartwarming soul you'll never forget. Okay, let's talk about his little brother then. Yeah, you will be between brothers. Now, Dirk, the cafe sunshine who will chase bugs and smile through everything. The moment you see him bouncing around the cafe, you just know he's the type to brighten every room he walks into. He's optimistic, energetic, endlessly sweet, the kind of guy who makes you wonder how one human can have this much pure light. He's basically a human sunbeam with a side of mischievous energy. His personality? Well, Dirk is youthful, playful, and exuberant. He's the younger brother of Jules, but he's got a personality all his own. Energetic, fun-loving, endlessly curious, and always looking to make people smile. He's approachable, honest, and genuinely infectious with his happiness. Yeah, he's the kind of guy who notices little things like how you might eat alone in your farm and just wants to be there to keep you company. As you get to know him, you'll notice how he wants to balance his youthful energy with maturity. But he also wants someone who can encourage him gently while appreciating his essence and what makes him, well, him. He's honest, self-aware, and endlessly lovable and adorable. But would he water your crops or your soul? Actually, I think he would water both. Yeah, he would chase bugs, whip up snacks, and make sure you laugh until your cheeks hurt. All while making sure you feel lighter and happier than you did 5 minutes ago. Dirk isn't just a love interest. He's a reminder that life can be fun, kind, and bright if you let yourself enjoy it. Okay, now let's talk about our stoic man Lloyd, the worldly merchant who's seen it all but still finds you the most interesting thing. Yeah, but even if he is the type of man who has 1,000 stories tucked in his coat from all his travels around the world, you will notice the moment you meet him that, yeah, he doesn't want to share it with you. He doesn't have interest in you. And you need to earn his respect. Yes, he's a former traveler, collector of curiosities, and a man of mystery. His personality? Yeah, Lloyd is calm and collected, a man of very few words at first, but has a sea of stories waiting to be told. I think someone who's been everywhere and seen everything still finds delight in the small unexpected moments. On the surface, he is stoic and unshakably cool, but underneath that, he's thoughtful, observant, and quietly appreciative of those who genuinely listen to him. He warms up very slowly, but when he does, it's genuine and memorable. Actually, this type of character is actually my favorite, and I always marry those stoic characters that want nothing with you, because they always turn out to be the most cutie pies in the whole game. So yeah, actually he isn't very mysterious, because we know that stern, focused look, that type that doesn't have time for you until you offer a hand with something. Yeah, we know that inside they are a big softie. He's a man who appreciates effort, precision, and patience, and when he starts noticing you, he appreciates your interest in the way you listen. He's not just a storyteller, he's selective with whom he opens up to. He values your curiosity, your patience, your attentiveness, and he's the man who knows the power of shared stories. So when he do trust you enough to share more about him and his life and his travels, it's kind of magical. But would he water your crops or your soul? I think both, but mostly your soul. Yeah, Lloyd might not bend over to grab a watering can, but he will support to make sure your day feels lighter. He's the calm, worldly companion you didn't know you needed, but once he's in your life, everything feels richer, even the little moments. Okay, now let's talk about our artsy boy, Gabriel. The moment you spot him by the water, sketchbook in hand, you know he's the type who sees beauty in everything. The way the light hits the stream, the curve of a leaf, the way your hair sways in the wind. Oh my god, yeah, he probably sketches that too. He's the kind of guy who makes you feel like the world is a canvas and you're part of the masterpiece. His personality? Gabriel is carefree, very soft-spoken, and endlessly observant. On the outside, he's gentle, almost shy, like he's floating through life on a quiet cloud, he's always sleepy. But underneath that calm exterior is a passionate artist who notices details others completely miss. He loves to appreciate and create beauty, whether it's a painting, a sculpture, or a shared quiet moment. He's patient, kind, and always ready to make you feel seen, even if it's through a delicate brushstroke or a thoughtful gesture. And it's very cute how he sees life, because you notice how his creativity feeds off of kindness and encouragement. Gabriel is someone who worries for others in a quiet, heartfelt way, and he values teamwork, patience, and trust, and he genuinely appreciates the moment to step in to guide or support him. But would he water your crops or your soul? Your soul, yeah, obviously. He might not carry the watering can, but he will fill your world with inspiration, creativity, and gentle reassurance. Spending time with him is like being part of a painting, soft, warm, and obviously very artistic. Okay, now let's talk about another one of my personal favorites. Yeah, you know that person who walks into a room and suddenly everything feels a little more refined? Yeah, that's Samir. He's calm, composed, polite to the point of perfection, but he's also a man of very few words. But behind that regal calm is a man who's, well, carrying a few secrets, and I won't spoil them for you. His personality? Well, Samir is reserved, stoic at first glance, and absolutely radiates mystery. He doesn't waste words, but when he speaks, it's always thoughtful and intentional. His sense of duty and discipline is evident, cause yeah, he is someone who grew up in a world of expectations and strict rules. Yeah, beneath that polished exterior, there's a soft, almost vulnerable core. He's gentle, compassionate, and when he lets the walls down, he's surprisingly warm. His quiet nature isn't arrogance, it's actually a habit. Years of strict studies left him with little time to play or even bond with people in general. That's why his heart event hits so deep, because every interaction with you teaches him something new about joy, freedom, and connection. And one thing that is very cute about him is when he starts to notice someone who sees him for who he is and not what he hides. His narrative is about knowing oneself, opening up, making amends, and healing, and you're an important part of his healing journey. Would he water your crops or your soul? Absolutely your soul with the slow burn fairy tale type of romance. Samir is for those who want elegance wrapped around vulnerability. A man who starts as an enigma but ends up your safe place. Okay, now it's time for the man of the moment. Yeah, the man who's making the fandom go feral. Time for our second brand new marriage candidate, Arata, the mountain muscle who can bench press your problems. And oh my god, he's such a contrast from Diana. If Diana is all structure and clipboards, Arata is raw energy in human form. From the little we know about him, this guy lives and breathes martial arts, sunshine, and optimism. His whole deal? Training in the mountains to better himself, body, and soul. And he seems to be such a himbo. And I don't know, I love that for us, because what's not to love about a himbo? But yeah, he pretty much seems to be one. There's strong indications from his trailer, and I really love that for us, I really do. And his personality? Well, aside from being a himbo, from his lines alone, Arata seems to be like the walking embodiment of good vibes. He seems to be friendly, helpful, and a himbo. I'm gonna say it a lot of times because I just love the fact that he's a himbo. But yeah, don't mistake him for just muscles and no thoughts, cause he seems to be on a personal journey to figure out why he's so obsessed with strength and training. But he mentions that introspection isn't his strong suit, so I think we may expect some adorable, clumsy self-reflection moments that he just brushes off, you know? Something very light. And I love that the fact that our romance with him is going to be something like, oh, we are friendly training buddies, and then suddenly he will be looking at us and he will be like, oh my god, did my heart just do a push-up or something? I don't know. But yeah, would he water your crops or your soul? I think he wouldn't do any of this, neither. He will carry the watering can and you at the same time. He is strength personified, so yeah, not in an intimidating way, but in a warm sunshine on a mountaintop way. So yeah, being around him probably feels like an instant energy boost or something. I don't know, I love him, I already love him. And there you have it, every eligible heartthrob and future love of your farming life. From sunshine himbos to mysterious colors, from clipboard queens to magical beans, every town has options, and I'm so excited to see their personalities explored better and deeper now. Cause let's be real, this game is serving romance on a silver platter. So, who's stealing your heart this season? Are you Team Jules? Are you Team Bazaar Boss Lady Diana? Or maybe you're already packing your protein shakes for our himbo boy Arata? Or maybe all of them, like me? Okay, tell me in the comments. I need to know who we are all simping for. Okay, now go forth, stay hydrated, and remember, life is short, so plant fast, woo faster. Catch you in the next harvest. Bye bye!